Welcome, my friend, to the show that never ends. Welcome to this. We are freaks. We really, let's face it, we are freaks. We don't fit in. Nobody listens to us. Um, Minutes before, this has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with anything, but I got to share this with you because this is just seconds before I started. I saw this. I got to share this with you. I live in a city right now that is filled probably more than any place. I would venture to say that by virtue of social media, but I live in a city where there are people who want more than anything in the world to be kind of part of the in crowd, but to be cool and popular and loved and sexy and admired and like you can't believe. Always posting pictures so that they can be told, you're so beautiful. And I think to myself, you're 80 years old or you're 70 or what is this about? What is the matter with you? And people in the business, people you should see people I know in the news business who don't know anything. I am, with the exception of my beautiful wife, I am a hermit. I'm hermetic. I have absolutely nothing. I hate everybody. I'm just going to say this. I know I shouldn't. I hate everybody. They're so base. There might be maybe a handful of, I guess. The world, this is the most critical thing in the world right now. And if it wasn't for you, I and my wife, I would have nobody to talk to. I have no one to talk to. No one. Do you ever feel like this? I don't know any. I don't. I talk to you. You get it, and then I get done. I tell Mrs. L, and we say, "Oh my God, we're." I was watching here locally. There's this tremendous corruption investigation regarding the mayor and the police commissioner and everybody. And I watch segments of little local news. It's the worst. They suck. And all of these, let's say, tell me what it means. They dance around. And they're saying, no, tell me, devote a section to this. This is the biggest corruption scandal. And they can't do it because they're children, because they don't really get into news. They don't do news the way we do. Get to the bottom. Be ballsy. Be fearless. What does this mean? Talk about. No, can't do it. We are on the precipice. We are on the verge. We could lose everything if this election goes wrong. We could. I'm feeling very good about it. But we could lose everything, and they don't seem to know anything. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Social media and the cell phone, but still, I think it's maybe the cell phone. People spend their entire grown women, honest to God, you have no idea. If I could give you the names, you wouldn't know who they were. Who spend their entire life saying, am I beautiful? Let me show you. Let me show you a couple of things right off the bat. Okay? First, something happens to people and I don't know what it is. I never saw this before. There used to be people in the world that that we respected, and they were just, I don't know when this insanity happened. I don't know what happens to people and their sense of appearance. Let me show you something which to me is one of the most shocking things, and this has nothing to do with politics, but this is a statement about the human condition. Okay, by the way, if you're eating, spit out your food, spit out, because you're about to see something which is going to absolutely make you sick to your stomach. Maybe. Watch this. What is this? what happens to people? Look at on the left. What is this? It's like Beavis and Butthead. My God. I know it's not important. It's not critical. I'm wondering what is wrong with people? Why are people mutilating their faces? Why? I want to know this. Okay. Yesterday at some Republican event in Hollywood, I think Hollywood, Florida, at the Seminole Hard Rock or something, they had some Republican whatever. And for some reason or another, the Trump organization has it in their mind that Kimberly Guilfoyle is a draw, that she's a draw, we have days to go. Let me say this again to you. Let me remind you of something. We have 58 days, or maybe 57, depends how you count it, until the election, okay? It's very, very simple. And somebody at this event said, let's get Morticia Adams over here and bring her out. And I don't know why. She probably insisted, she most probably paid. She didn't do anything for free. Because I'm a star. I'm a star. Okay. All right. Okay. Two words for what you're about to see. Riveting and Churchillian.
Walks of life have had enough of the Democrats' decline, and we are ready. We are willing, and we are able to spark a new era of American exceptionalism. You can clap for that.
What is going on here? I'm going to tell you one more thing. This was, I saw this on Twitter today. If I were Trump, I'm saying, what are we doing? Why is she doing this? What is going on? What are we, bereft of guests? I can't show you that. I was going to show you one more, but I can't. It's just so horrible. It makes me sick to my stomach. I'm also going to say something in no particular order. I just wanted to share this with you, and then we'll get to the bottom, I guess. I do not care at all about women's basketball. I have never cared at all about women's basketball. I couldn't tell you. I think, remember Lisa Leslie or whatever? It was like NWNBA or something. Maybe there was one. I don't remember any names. Never. I remember, maybe because it was a New York team. Caitlin Clark is the greatest. And I have no idea. She was treated like garbage by people. Garbage. And watch how great she is.
This is beautiful. Watch this. Drives a longer, quicker.
I just love that. I don't know why. I just think she's just because it's a thing. Maybe I don't think it's a race thing, but a lot of the folks did not exactly embrace this white woman and say, "Hey, welcome." You know how that is. Viktor Orban, my other hero, decides, hey, listen, if the EU wants to send us, this is very interesting. If the EU wants to send us migrants, illegals, we'll send them to Brussels. You can have them. And he's serious. The guy's got cojones like you cannot believe. Watch.
Wall, because there's legal migration, which will be very much needed in future if you have a look to demography and the labor market. But again, I don't want to leave too many topics aside because we have also to open the floor, and I'd like to talk
it's
about
an
the war.
important point, but who defined whether you need migration or not? Is it Brussels or you? It's impossible.
Maybe you define it together, deciding to be competitive together?
No. The question is why this issue does not belong to the national sovereignty. So to have migration, it's a decision of Italy, France, Germany, Hungary, Poland. It cannot be a common decision. Why you would like to force us? I understand on migration. I understand that you probably here or in Germany, you think that migration is a civilizational issue, and you think that if two different kind of culture...
No, I was discussing about the economy of migration, not about civilization.
May I have my point? So if you think that to live together two civilizations is useful and provide a better society, you can have a right to decide to do so. But if some other countries think it's too risky because of terrorism, because of public safety, because of the social burden, and if countries think it's too risky, we would not like to have that kind of new society, why we don't have a right to say no? That's the question, you know? So that's the reason why certain issues should not belong to Brussels to be decided, but rather stay on the national level, belonging to the sovereignty of the member states.
Yeah.
Now, let me do a couple of things. First of all, this is Viktor Orban from Hungary. His English is better than Tiffany Henyard from Dalton, Illinois. Tiffany Henyard, American citizen, incomprehensible gibberish. He makes more sense than Kamala does. He's Hungarian. They're speaking in English. And what they're saying, if you wrote it down, is more intelligent than anything Kamala has ever said. This is where we are. This is the rudimentary basis of where we are. We are, as a society, as a group of people, as a civilization, we are collapsing. And when it comes to anybody speaking cogently, we're beyond gone. We're beyond gone. Now watch this. I love this. If the EU releases illegals, they put them on a bus and send them to Brussels.
The Hungarian government's anti-immigrant rhetoric was furthered when a senior official said Budapest would bus illegal migrants to Brussels.
Az Európai Unió, Brüsszel arra akarja kényszeríteni
If the Union wants to force Hungary
engedjük be azokat az illegális
to let in illegal migrants,
akiket eddig 1 millió alkalommal
then we will have snuff, those we have snuff at Hungary's southern border. Then Hungary, after the implementation of the European procedure, will offer these illegal immigrants a voluntary, free of charge, one-way ticket to Brussels. I love this. We need this. We need this. This is the absolute. This is it. And what do we have instead?
Here, if you can please get my fiance and his brother off, I'd really appreciate it. Really.
I came across this. This is from December of 2023. This is Morticia Adams and Alina Haba. And she says, if you can get my fiance and his brother off, they're joking about this. Listen.
A little favor here, if you can please get my fiance and his brother off, I'd really appreciate it. Really don't want to.
I just want to say, I'm just disgusted with everything. Disgusted. Freedom says, maybe you feel like me, Lionel. That's why you so negative. We don't want to see this great nation we love deeply since we were little lads turn into a crap hole of nothing. Maybe you feel like me, Lionel. That's why you so negative. I'm not negative. I mean, I thank you for this, by the way. But do you consider what I'm saying negative? Do you think negative almost sounds like a predisposed disposition where I am just always down? Do you think that? Anybody here negative? Do you not look around you and say, wow, wow? Does anybody see what's happening here? Wow. Does anybody see, is it me this This is the scariest stuff. I mean, we're looking okay. And I see this unforced errors. I see the president of Hungary that speaking more cogently. Do you know how that bothers me? Do you know how that bothers me? I don't know if there are other countries like we do who have these morons, and she's not really bothered, but like Tiffany Henyard. Have you seen you probably haven't, the group of people, the mayor of New York, police commissioner, it's the biggest bunch of thugs, and I mean, it's horrid. It's just embarrassing. And as we speak, the morons who represent New York local news won't embrace it. They won't even get to the bottom of it. But it's the way we are with everything. It's everything. We are having a woman who theoretically is running. I did a piece, and I hope you wonderful folks, 2 videos that you watched. Number 1 was, why are there more transgenders and non-binaries among Hollywood celebrity children? What do you think that one's about? What do you think that one's about? That's kind of an interesting take. What do you think that's about? Why would that be? Why in the name of God would that be? It's a fascinating subject. It's fascinating. But nobody's, you think somebody here with this group of people, nobody's going to talk about that. And it's the most interesting thing there is. It's the most interesting stuff in the world. So nobody wants to discuss that. But anyway, so that was one. And the other subject is the issues that this moron Democratic nominee is talking about. This is a woman. And I want to, you have, let me see if I can explain this to you. Mrs. Allen and I were watching again. I think we finally saw the entire Mary Tyler Moore series from beginning to end. And I always laughed at Ted Baxter because I always thought Ted Baxter was so precious. I've told you a million times. And we have Ted Baxters here in this city, and maybe your cities as well. We used to have really, really smart people. Do you remember? Does anybody remember when news people, Eric Sevareid, Douglas Edwards, Frank, we can go down the list, Peter Jennings, there were Walter Cronkite, Huntley and Brinkley, Frank McGee, just go down, Richard C. Hodelet. Oh my God. William, Edward R. Murrow, it just goes down. Fred Friendly, Bill Paley, CBS, the Tiffany. These were, I mean, it was beautiful. It was wonderful. This is what I grew up in. I so respected these people. They weren't just pretty boys and pretty girls and morons. They were the smartest people. They knew the subject. They were highly educated. Many of them came from World War II. They had a sense of the world. And today we hire these morons. And I just looked at, I have not looked at local New York news but on my YouTube tablet, I'm looking at all this stuff about the corruption going on. And I'm thinking, I don't even recognize these people. It's the worst C-grade group of idiots you have ever seen. Skeptic says, hermits unite. Best life ever. There's something to be said for that. Every year they have this group of people here in New York. And it's called the Inner Circle. And the Inner Circle is a group of people who are, it's been going on since, oh my God, since 1900. Who the hell knows? And it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. Put it this way. If ever you catch somebody and you want to really, oh, Edie says McNeil Lehrer. Oh, absolutely. You'll never see the likes of that again. But every year they have this skit and all of the big names in local TV news, the big names, they get together and they practice like all year long for this event. It's the weirdest thing. And it goes on about what, honey, about 8 hours, the whole thing? It's like it never ends. It never ends. They have intermissions and people are dying. One year, this old lady, she passed out. She wasn't even drunk. She just fell asleep. It was just horrible. It's the last time I ever went to this. And they get together and then they bring out the mayor. And they used to have somebody from Broadway, a big Broadway star. Do you remember when Rudy Giuliani came out as dressed as a woman? It was it Victor Victoria? What was that? Victor Victoria. I think I was there for that one. There's a couple. I think I was there for that one. And it was Rudy Giuliani and okay. And I realized, oh my God. Because I came from the world of radio, talk radio, where you got down, Rush Limbaugh and even at its height. All of these morons basically just wanting to kiss everybody's ass and rub shoulders with politicians but not make any waves and not say anything. Nothing's changed. If this country is ever going to be great, we need to get the best and the brightest. I was watching today, listening to a group called The Usual Idiots. I think it's Usual Idiots. And it was Katie Halper and Aaron Mate. And they're talking about Israel. Now, you might not like the subject. It may bother you. And you might think, oh, and that's fine. That is completely fine. But it was in this very, not ramshackle by any stretch, but two people, some of the most incisive commentary that you would never hear on anything local or national ever. I was watching before our good friend Judge Napolitano with Max Blumenthal. Incredible. I happened to be going to another one. This was Amy Goodman. There were the weirdest. It's an incredible story about this Columbia law professor, Frankie was her name, I think. They wanted to fire her because she basically said something which people deemed to be anti-Semitic about Israel. And I'm thinking, where is anybody? Nobody is touching her case. Now, these are people who 90% of the time I would say, I can't stand it. These are lefties and people who would have laughed at you if you were to claim any kind of a vaccine exemption or what. They would have had nothing to do with you. They were the type of people who push a pro, trans, this and that. But in this case, this is the most important thing. In this case, there is this group, there's this woman, and nobody is asking the question, what about her freedom of speech? Nobody. Thank you for that. Thank you, Soul. Love recommendations. Thank you for that. Where is everybody? I don't understand where is everybody? Nobody's coming to anybody's. Even Columbia University, law professors. I don't know who this woman is. It's about free speech. It doesn't matter what the free speech. She should be able to say this. They want to base it. I mean, nobody is saying anything. And it occurred to me, what our society is today is a bunch of people pretending to know what they're talking about. We have no revolutionaries. We have no, we have some, excuse me, not revolutionaries, but we have some great, really serious, don't call them journalists, but it's out there. And we need more of those instead of these idiots from local and regular TV. Did you hear the latest where Jimmy Fallon, they're going to do 4 days a week? You know how much money they're wasting on that? They got rid of Seth Meyers' band. They're falling apart. We are in the middle of a revolution rather. We need to go out and we need to inspire young people. We need to have summer camps. We need to bring them in to say, we need you to go out, to shake it up, make noise, get into trouble, piss people off, say something, understand what is happening here. I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, people who are in Congress, Stefanik and others, who were basically wanting to clobber people because they were anti-Semitic. What about freedom of speech? Who is going to come and speak on behalf of, I know it doesn't matter to a lot of people, but who is going to speak on behalf of Tucker Carlson? They want to can him because he interviewed somebody who, we're just asleep at the wheel. What are we doing? We're pretending that we care. We got this little show over here, this little show over here. Washington is gone. Nobody cares at all. It is so corrupt, so worthless, such a waste of time. The media are despicable. They want to sit around and kiss each other's ass and pretend that they're important. They don't care anymore. There's nobody out there who wants to really do it. Nobody understands it. Nobody. We have right now, think about this. We have a woman who wants to be president, who said that she believes that we should pay black people through some kind of formula, I don't know, for something that may or may not have happened to them generations and hundreds of years ago. And she said, I believe it. And then she changed her mind. She said, I don't believe it anymore. Are any of these morons in local news going to be doing it? No. Is anybody going to say, how do you change your mind? How do you say, for example, you're for abortion, then you're against abortion? Or how do you make these things? How do you do that? How did she say one day, I'm against fracking? Fracking's okay. Now you might say, who gives a frack? Who's out there? Let me tell you who's out there. The people who are out there are people writing columns, writing pieces on websites and blogs that you have never heard their name once. You don't recognize their name. They are the power and the backbone. They are the most important. And these people are going to all die off. All these phonies sitting around just pretending to be glamorous, thinking that they're stars, actually thinking they're stars because they want to be stars. They don't want to be a star because of their work, because of their truth, because of their brilliance. No, they just want to be a star. They want you to love them. This is where we are today. Well, guess what, my friends? When it hits them, when the reality of what's going to happen hits them eventually, they're not going to know what they're not going to know what to do. And we have to go out and we have to recruit younger people and support them and say, keep going out there and doing it. And we also have to realize one thing. We got to stop this left-right business. If somebody's saying something that's correct, you've got to be able to realize that's correct and not turn your back on them because they don't particularly share your ideology or share the way you think about whatever it is. Does that make any sense to you? I hope it does. I hope it does. This is scary business. I mean, really, really scary business. I don't think anybody really gets it. I don't think people really are grasping. I know none of the idiots here in this country know anything about it. Nothing. And when it comes to news, you can forget it. They're absolutely done. Let me tell you something right now. If I were to just if I were to just sit down and I took 10 people, these are the subjects which I think we always love about. Just 10 people from local news or national news or CNN, and said, I want to give you basically a couple of ideas. The border, crime, drugs, fentanyl, remember opioids, child predation, human trafficking, biomedical tyranny, COVID, masks, that sort of thing, puberty blockers, genital mutilation, globalism, foreign wars, foreign affairs, foreign policy. What about America first? What about putting us first and to hell with everybody else? I don't care. Did you see where China is now stopping? They're going to prohibit Chinese adoption. Chinese adoption is like, oh, you got to have a Chinese kid. Like they're a Range Rover or some Pekingese, this dog, like French bulls. Everybody's got a French bull all of a sudden. And China said, the hell with it. We're not sending him to you. Before that, it was Russian adoption. Russian was big. Why does anybody ever want to? Does anybody from any other country come and adopt American kids? Can I ask a stupid question? Where are these big mouths who talk about, oh, abortion, we're against abortion? What about adoption in this country? They look at you like, I don't give a damn about adoption. Why? I just want to show up a CPAC and hang around with Matt Gaetz and quote the Bible and pretend and do this phony baloney Russell Brand stuff. And I'm a born again Christian. But what about helping kids? I don't care about kids. I'm just in it. I'm just here for the beer. I don't know. I'm not into that. I don't know what you're talking about. That's where we are today. Where are the people who really stand for something? Where? Nowhere. Let me tell you something, not to screw anything, to upset you, but we have 2 days. And let me tell you what scares the hell out of me. Ready for this? I'm afraid that she's going to end up doing okay. I told you today, the worst thing in the world that could ever happen is if Kamala goes in there and does one of these. Well, that wasn't bad. That's it. Because she's not doing another debate, and that was your chance. That was your bite at the apple. That was your bite at the apple. That was it. What are you going to do? What is it? What is the question? Name the question. Where is it? How are you going to go in and who's helping him now? Do we have any teams there? I told you what has to be done. He has to go in and have the next day the entire world say, oh my God, did you see that? I love that guy. He tore her apart. That's what I want. That's what I want. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Let me tell you something. Listen to me. If she ends up not being bad or doing anything terrible, she wins. Let me say this again. If she doesn't blow it, I know what you're going to say. If she doesn't completely come apart or unglued, she wins. And they're going to do everything to throw in that way. You know they're going to give her the questions. You know they're going to, and you know it. Does he have the wherewithal to do it? Who are the people advising him? And don't give me this Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard was great for that little interplay, but that only meant something to you. Most people didn't understand a word she said or care a thing about what she said. They didn't get it. It was too nice. It was too nice. Tulsi Gabbard is going to be. She's got a tremendous future. One day, Tulsi Gabbard against Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom. And don't you think for a moment, Gavin Newsom, they've got old Kimberly. They got to keep her happy. Because that's Gavin's ex, and boy, they could bury each other. She could really bury him. I mean, big time. Big time. But that's for something else. Now, September 10th, we're going to be doing this immediately. We're going to be watching this. And I need you to be brutal. And I need you, not to be a cheerleader. Cheerleaders are great, but we don't need them. I want you to be brutal. I want you to realize something. This isn't a fan club. This is not the Donald Trump fan club. We're in it for the fight of our life. Lori Cook says, I miss Steve Bannon's touch, brutal and smart. You know, Lori, I appreciate that, but do you think Steve Bannon turns on, invites people? Look, I know he's wonderful, but Steve Bannon scares the hell out of people. You know that, right, Lori? You do know that, right? You know that's an acquired taste. That's what you like. And that's okay. Listen, the left doesn't give a damn whether you like whoever the hell it is, Joy Reid, or they don't ask you. But you do understand you can't take Steve Bannon out to the, that's scares people. You know that, right? You know that, right? The guy, believe it or not, who is better than people think is J.D. Vance. You know why? Because he's kind of like not scary. He doesn't scare anybody with anything. He doesn't, somebody says Steve Banana is most effective behind the scene as an advisor. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Do you believe President Trump gets good advice? Yes or no? Do you believe he gets good advice? Does he take the good advice? You're out of your mind, right? I mean, we can talk about how he looks and he sits around, he does a good show and he does all this. It's fun to watch. Do you think he gives good advice? Do you think this guy knows how to do national politics? Are you kidding me? He'll scare the hell out of people. No way. You want to keep him way in the back, way in the back. Do you think President Trump gets the best advice? Nonsense. Do you want to win or do you want to be bold? Do you think Alex Jones should be giving advice? Hell no. But he's fun to watch and you may like him. You've got to take what you like individually, personally, and forget it. You're a freak. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You got to say, how do we bring people into the fold and not scare them? Corey Lewandowski was pretty cool too. To you, everything you say means nothing if the other side or doesn't either agree, or if America doesn't agree, or if he's an acquired taste. See, that's what the Republicans dealt when they came up with this nonsense about Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin was an idiot. Sarah Palin was an idiot from the get-go. And how she fit into this, I have no earthly idea. She was a moron. Kevin, thank you. And I said that then. You're crazy. When Tina Fey did an impersonation of her, which was easy to do, anybody can do it, Sarah Palin, who was better than her? Come on. Lori Cook says, are we destroy ingredients or bringing them in? Are we destroy ingredients or bringing them in? I don't know what that means. But I'm sure it was a good thought. I just don't understand what that means. When you run for office, when you run for politics, what do you go, left or right? No, right down the middle. Right down the middle. If you think, I would tell Steve Bannon, Steve, I love you. I'll talk to you. Don't you ever, ever come near the White House in my administration, ever, under any circumstance. Freedom says, I can hear her already telling Trump, Donald, I'm talking. It's not going to be pretty. No. But it's not going to be pretty for whom? What does he say when she says, I'm talking? He says, you're not going to do that again, are you? What do you think I am, Mike Pence? You need a new act. Come on, you're not going to do that. I'm talking. You're going to tell, what does he say? You're going to tell Putin that? You're going to tell Xi Jinping that? Good luck. Good luck. Is NATO going to push you around like that? Is that what you're going to do? I'm talking. Oh, really? He's going to have a response for everything. And everybody's waiting for that dig. So you know. And if he really wants to be, and let me tell you something. I'm going to say something right now, and I'm going to tell you this, and it's a very, very simple thing. I'm going to really be, I'm sorry to say this, but this is what the president's got to do. You ready for this? Be a dick. Absolutely level her. They are going to want to see this. The days of, well, there you go again. It's over. It's over. This woman is standing in the way. He has got to decimate her. He's got to say something like, hey, Kamala, isn't it about time you say I'm speaking? Isn't it about time? That's on your routine, right? How many times are you going to say that? You haven't said that yet. Well, there it goes, because you know it's coming. He's got to be brutal. He's got to be brutal. He's got to turn to her and say, what? Wait a minute. What was that? This is you. I thought you were training for tonight. You didn't know that question was coming, and that's it? What does that mean? What does that mean? Do you think you can go before, and then when Muir say, I'm talking, Muir, sit down, son. Do you think you're going to do that with Putin? You think you're going to do that? Let me ask you a question. Do you have any idea? Do you really want this? Or do you like the idea of this? Do you know how? You weren't a part of the Biden administration the whole time. You've never won an election ever. I'm sorry. You're from California. That is so corrupt. It's not even funny. You were part of that Brown, Pelosi, D'Alessandro, the Getty. You know how that works. Same thing with Gavin. You've never had an election. You've never won. You have never had a primary voter ever. Do you really understand what the American people want? Are you going to talk about price gauging anytime soon? Are you going to take a bunch of kids and say, you can see the craters of the moon? What do you think this is, romper room? You can't do this. Thank you, triumphalism. You can't do this. And he leaves. And she just says, what the hell was that? And then the next thing, President Trump, what do you have to say? Say, you want that for your president? You want this thing? You want her protecting you? This one? You want her standing between you and nuclear annihilation? Her? Are you kidding me? You are kidding me, right? What is this, a joke? What's the matter with you people? Do you have any idea of what this job means? She hasn't been responsible for one thing ever. Hell, they never meet. They don't even have cabinet meetings. This guy's on the beach trying to find metal objects in the sand. And this one's, I don't know what the hell she's doing. Now, it's about time that the American people understand that we're not joking around anymore. And we could try to be nice. If you want to be cute and we're going to talk about unburdened by the past, let's go ahead. That's fine. I don't know what the hell that even means. But let me tell you something right away, and understand what I'm saying. This is far too serious for us to be playing around with this stuff. And it's that simple. Period. End of discussion. So remember something. What you think are great, like you might like General Flynn, okay? Or you might like Vivek, or you might like, okay. And I think they can do a lot of good. But you got to ask yourself a question. Do you like them because they're your boyfriend? Or do you like them because they really give you something to think about? They have a world view. What does Bobby Kennedy really want? Bobby Kennedy had that goofy Shanahan dingbat with all the cash. Are you serious about Bobby Kennedy? Sure. Do you think he really understands? Or is he trying to prove something to? Because I'm Bobby's son. And do you understand what this is? This isn't a town. We're not trying to cast a play here. We're not trying to cast a TV show. Like, who's going to play Rhoda? Well, she's nice. Doesn't work like that. There are people out there who are probably the best of the best of the best that you've never heard of before. Never heard of them. Never. Is he smart enough to do this? Who was the dingleberry who said, let's bring old Kimberly again up here. Let's bring Kimberly up. She's terrific. Let's bring her up. They're actually making this. Who in their right mind said this?
Have had enough of the Democrats decline.
This is so he's not in charge of anything. I don't understand. I mean, I'm serious. How do they make those mistakes like that? There's no room for error. There's no room for distraction. This is in it. After you win the election, Mr. President, you do whatever you want. You can have her on. I don't care. Who cares? We win. I don't have time for mistakes right now. Neither does this great and grand country of ours. It is that simple. All right, dear friends. Number one, I told you before, and I'm going to tell you again. One of the best things you can do right now that others and countless Americans have taken advantage of is My Patriot Supply. Let me put it to you simply this. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know what the circumstances are, but something really bad is going to happen where food is going to be at a premium, and you're going to wish to God that you had listened to me and you had gone to preparewithlionel.com and spent $300, saving $300 on a 3-month emergency food kit. Period. End of discussion. There is no kidding around. And the great, the inimitable, the ineffable, the one, the only, Mr. Ineluctable Mike Lindell, it's called mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. And it has about, pillows are just a little part of this magic that they produce all the time. You got that? mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. And the people are starting, the buses are getting ready. The folks are going to be busting on October the 26th, not like a Kamala rally, but at the cutting room. I'm going to be hitting that stage. And it's me and you and a dog named Boo. You ask questions, we do music, we just sit back and we get ready. Okay? And also, it is important and critical beyond belief for you to follow Mrs. L. This is her YouTube channel right here. And she has two great, I'm going to give you two, I'm going to tease these, as it were. 2 incredible positions you've got to hear her do on OnlyFans and China. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. And nobody's talking about that. Because there it is right now. Follow Lynn's Warriors right there. That's the link. That's the link. That OnlyFans. One of the saddest things is Drea, whatever her name is, from The Sopranos, she's got to be doing. She lets her teenage son direct. I think she's married to Shooter Jennings or something. He goes, we paid off our mortgage. I'm sorry. It's not illegal. It's so sad. It's so sad. But anyway, that's that. Okay? That's the way that goes. Okay, my friends. So listen, remember this. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation. Watch what I do. Watch the piece I just did. In fact, I'll show you right now. It's my hypotheses and why people are thinking that maybe. Why is there such a connection? Why are there so many trans and non-binaries in Hollywood? Why do the kids of these people? Why? What's the story behind it? Why? Why is there such a predisposition, a propensity, a predilection, it would seem like, for all of these people to have to I mean, the odds of this are absurd. Doesn't make any sense. So let me see where I can give you. Where is this? This is, nope, that's not it. Here it is. Just a minute. There we go. Da. and put it right there. There's the link right there, kids, for your edification, perusal, and review. All right. Tuesday night's going to be we're going to be doing this. It's going to be wild. We're going to be going after this event. I pins and needles, my friend. This is for all the marbles. This is going to make one of the biggest differences anybody has ever seen. It's true. It's absolutely true. All right, dear friends, have a great day. By the way, thank you to our friends. Freedom says, I'm just saying Sir Trump must win. Does not matter about the debate. I'm just saying Sir Trump must win. Does not matter about the debate. I don't know what that means, but the debate can help more undecideds and on-the-fencers because of the momentum it will cause. Remember what finally killed it for Joe Biden. Why? It was the debate. Lori says, sorry, I eat my glasses. Thank you, Lori. Lori eats her glasses. Thank you. Just kidding, of course. You need your glasses. Nothing wrong with that. Freedom says, I can hear her already telling Donald Trump. Oh, I'm not going to. I'm talking. Okay. So anyway. So Lori, thank you. Freedom, thank you. Trium infinitum, thank you. Freedom, Kevin, Soul, Edie Crowley, Skeptic, and Freedom again. Thank you so much. All right, dear friends. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great and a glorious day. Remember, we're in the same team here. I want to win. It's not about being cute. It's about winning. Because if we don't win, it doesn't matter. All right, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious day. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.